Good morning, my friends. We're a couple of minutes late. I do apologise. My stream key decided to change.
I trap hard, that's just fast. Work all night to finesse these rats. Never been soft, forget all that. Fuck with me, gon' get her back. Self-employed.
So I'm talking about kicking off with this one. Alika and Big Zoo. This one, last week's Freshest Fry.
Listen, rent you
Track titled Life.
Saturday, bills don't stop, so I gotta raise my.
Gonna let this one run through, and then you know exactly what is going on today. It's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna get some shares out there. Out to my early morning locked in crew. That's what we like to see.
Hide and seek. Come on, they don't wanna let me breathe. Why they won't let me be? Don't fake friend with me, no new friends like Jazzy. If he say I'm on his line, then his mom must have named him Lizzie. Liar, tryna have it all, gon' get that. Run the clout, I don't respect that. Taking out this year, regret that, but I'm still flying, mine a setback. Know my face, know my name, I'ma be here for a minute. Making waves, run my lane, can't pretend you don't hear this. Living my life. Living my life. Living my life.
B.I. Let me give them something, build a little vibe. They ain't been on nothing, get it with my guys. I don't do no rushing, patience is the vibe. See the levels you ain't touching, and it's pointless if you tried. I one of them brothers that's used to the grind, and I'm trying to make use of my time. Always in the shoe in the night, trying to produce with the rhymes, trying to give him hits to the hooks. Can't dodge that now, I don't miss when I look. Got bare vibes, I take the piss on the coke. Hella flavors that you can't listen your book. So I ain't known in the game. You don't know I live through music, trying to get home for the game. Do me so I'm owning my lane. Too high, I'm a soul in the game. Be high, man's rolling the game. Take flight, I'm controlling the plane. To the top, man, I told you the aim. And I don't need no people telling me that I'm the man. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm eating with the fam. Cause the ratings ain't converting to no money in my bank. I don't need no rank, I'm just kicking back and giving thanks.
Living my life. Living my life.
Oh, yes, sir. This one coming from Alika and Big Zoo. Perfect way to kick off the show this morning. How are we doing, my friends? Apologies about being a couple of minutes late. I had a couple of issues with the connection, but it's all sorted. We're streaming nice and smoothly now. It's been a fabulous start to the week with the guests we've got coming on today. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with both of them. We're going to be joined today by ZEE and Orbs, two fantastic guests. One working more within UK-based music, the other working within grime. Really, really cool. Two very respected figures in what they do as well. So it's going to be really good to sit down and have a conversation with both of them as we kind of look through what they're up to at the moment. This is what we do on the show, you know. We like to have a bit of a discussion with people, find out a few sort of secrets and tips from them, also finding out what they've got in the works. And yeah, it's always a bit of a good way to start the week, I feel, especially on a Monday. As per, I've had literally next to no sleep, it's just become a tradition on the Sunday now. You know what? On Sunday I woke up, I think I was up by around 10:30, 11ish, which is earlier than normal on a Sunday for me. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, I might actually get to sleep moderately early tonight. 5 o'clock I got to sleep, I reckon. Just about gone 5 o'clock. So yeah, hardly any sleep for me. But that's just part of the process now, you know. On Friday we did see a return of Bandcamp Day. Lots of the funds being diverted directly to Black Lives Matter related charities and causes, which is really, really sick to see. Very much needed right now as well. Today though, we're going to be looking at Thorpe Park reopening. We're looking at Cristiano Ronaldo becoming football's first billionaire. We're looking at Call of Duty's anti-racism measures and what they're going to be doing. We're also looking at the Premier League stadium zones as well as that. So a nice mix of information that's going to be put out on the show this morning. As I said before, out to everyone who has been supporting the channel over the last few days. And few weeks and few months or whatever. We're approaching 400 subs really, really quickly. We had a couple of videos drop on the channel over the weekend. We did a live listen of Wiley's new album. That was great fun. Really, really good to see. Obviously, we really enjoyed the album. So yeah, it was sick to see. As well as that, we also saw the Rude Kid Top 5 drop, which was really fun as well. Again, just sick to see the response these Top 5 videos are getting now. I mean, they're hitting around 100 views nearly in the first couple of days, which is sick to see. I think the Rude Kid one's nearly there as well. Out to Rude Kid for sharing it as well. Out to Wiley for sharing the stream we did. This is the thing, we're starting to pop up on people's radars now here on the channel, which I'm really enjoying, to be honest with you. I'm loving the fact that we are starting to get content out there and the right people are seeing it and it's getting shared around. And that's what I'm quite keen on doing, you know, just growing the channel as a platform that people can then come on to, have interviews, showcase their stuff. We are currently working on getting a couple of additional faces onto the channel as well. When I say onto the channel, I mean on a regular basis. I'm in talks with a couple of people over them having a regular show hosted on the channel as well, which is going to be sick to do. We're just working out all the logistics of it, but it should be sick. As well as that as well, we do have some collaborative content coming with Ms. Media over the next couple of days as well. I think we're recording on Wednesday, so it should probably pop up on around Saturday. I'd say probably Saturday will be the best time to launch it after we've checked it over and make sure everything works. So yeah, loads of good stuff on the way. We've got another reaction video dropping tonight, which I'm very happy with. We're going to be looking at French drill, which is going to be a fun one. So yeah, that's the schedule for the channel right now, and I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. There's some really good stuff on the way, and I can't wait to dive into it a little bit further. So let's have then a little look around at what we're going to be playing music-wise today. Obviously, we've got all the new releases that did drop last week on Fresh Fridays, which means there's some bangers floating around. Let's have a little nice Kickstarter, shall we? Let's start off with some new Izzy Gibbs. This one here going by the name of Dogs. Really cool tune, this one. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. If it's your first time locking into the show, please do make sure you hit that like button and, of course, hit subscribe on the channel as well. We're trying to hit 400 by the end of this week. We've got 20 to go. It's definitely doable. That's, what, 4 subs a day? Get out there, get sharing the stream, and I'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere.
I don't care if you don't like me, it's a love-hate relationship thing, innit? Or whatever that means, yo. I'm with the dogs. Man, it's some more. To the family, outpost. Free my G's out of the box. RIP to everyone I love. Only family I trust, too much love to my people. Coming out of the trenches, fire my blood Rio. I know he a snake, he a Rico. I ain't dying broke, re-up his like the ZEE. Me and my shit come from the abyss. Stripping and thinking niggas in the quits. Disrespect, he's getting shipping a bit. Different his lid. I know the fit and I'm legit. But the pig, I need to free my friends out of bin. Baby, don't you play around with me, yeah. See you over there with nails on feet. Baby, I got all this cash on me, yeah. I feel to run up bands on you cause you ain't cheap. I'm with the dogs. Man, it's some more. To the family, outpost. Free my G's out of the box. RIP to everyone I love. Only family I trust, too much love to my people. Coming out of the trenches, fire my blood Rio. I know he a snake, he a Rico. I ain't dying broke, re-up his like the Xenos. Young boss independent, big CEO. I need big checks, hella zeros.
Do let us know where you're looking in from this morning. Let's get some conversation going. It's a sociable place, this. It's a sociable platform.
Hitting tops, sugar bonito. Chopping the rock, do it on the Beano. I got shot, just put down my sock. Jazzy threads in a Clio. My bitch pussy tight, it's a keyhole. Nearly lose my life on a D-stroke. See them niggas doing things we don't. Baby face one going beast mode. Baby, don't you play around with me, yeah. See you over there with your nails on feet. Baby, I got all this cash on me, yeah. I feel to run up bands on you cause you ain't cheap. I'm with the dogs. Man, it's some more. To the family, outpost. Free my G's out of the box. RIP to everyone I lost. Only family I trust, too much love to my people. Coming out of the trenches, fire my blood Rio. I know he a snake, he a Rico. I ain't dying broke, re-up his like the Xenos.
Lovely stuff from that one. Izzy Gibbs, going by the name of Dogs. His brand new single, the video's out there now as well. Wicked tune, and a wicked way to start off today's show. So, how are we doing this morning? Locked In crew, let us know where you're listening in from. As always, we are trying to make sure that we keep you as entertained as possible in the mornings here on Cubcam TV. We're going through a period of pretty significant growth right now, so we're trying to get as many people to subscribe to the channel as possible. There's going to be something for everyone on here moving forward, so I think it's definitely something that you should do. So, Locked In crew, hit that subscribe button and hit like on the video. Come on, it takes about 2 seconds. Let's crack on then with our first bit of news for this morning. Let's have a look at this. Thorpe Park is said to be reopening. Now, I would definitely not class Thorpe Park as essential business, but I mean, I don't really know what the official measures are now. Everything's all confused and whatever. So, after being closed in line with the government's COVID-19 guidance, Merlin Entertainment have announced the date that Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, and Chessington World of Adventures will reopen. It's quite mad that they're all owned by the same company as well. I mean, it is mad to an extent, but obviously, if they know how to do it in one place, they'll be able to open up. They're like the experts at it, essentially, Merlin, in the UK especially. In a message posted to their website, Thorpe Park said, "We're getting ready to welcome you back. The health and safety of our guests and staff is always number one on our priority, and to keep everyone safe. We'll be back introducing a number of additional hygiene and safety measures which you'll see in place when the resort reopens." Now, maybe I'm being difficult on this one, but I don't remember ever going to Thorpe Park and it not being absolutely rammed and being in queues very close to people the entire time. Now, granted, you'd only be stood next to 2 or 3 people at any one time. That's the kind of beauty of a single lane queue. You are only ever stood next to the people in front of you and the people behind you. So it's actually quite limited, realistically. But then obviously it can go back and back and back and back and back and forth, whatever. But it's more the general walking around, because there's always just thousands of people at these places. "We are determined to be here for you," said a spokesman for the company. "Your friends and your families, offering otherworldly thrills and helping you create fantastic memories." Oh, it's nice, isn't it? As we have done for decades and will continue to do so for many more. In line with current government guidance, we are hoping to reopen the park at the resort on the 4th of July 2020. So if you've been gagging for that Thorpe Park action, if you just don't know when you're next going to get your Thorpe Park fix from, you can rest assured that on the on the 4th of next month, you can finally get your fix of Thorpe Park goodness. What is it? So in the FAQ section, they provide a quick glimpse of what the theme parks will look like post-lockdown. Interesting. They say contactless payments. Okay, face masks, reduced capacity, and non-contact temperature checks are just a few of the measures that will be implemented when the park's open. So hang on, Thorpe Park are able to implement on-the-spot temperature checks, but the airports can't. I don't know if that says more about the airports or Thorpe Park, to be honest with you, but that's an absolute madness. But yeah, like in general, how are you going to be able to? That's blown me away completely. That's an absolute madness. The idea that a Thorpe Park here, a theme park, a roller coaster park, is able to issue on the spot temperature checks, but airports can't. That's an absolute madness. And I'm really, really trying not to get political on this show, but you know, they're overlapping a little bit too much for my liking at the minute. So we're gonna sod it. Who cares? Right, let's get into some more music, shall we? In around 15 minutes, we're going to be jumping on the phone with Orbs. I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah, we've got loads of good stuff on the way. This one coming from Microboy and Yemi Bolatiwa. Wicked tune, this one, going by the name of Distance. Smooth flavours on this one. I've got to say, Twitter yesterday was a bit of a vibe, wasn't it? Full of bant. Madness. Good morning, Locked In crew. Brekky In The Cave. Smooth, soulful way to start off the morning. It's good to chat to you all as well. Welcome. Let us know where you're locked in from. Let us know how you're feeling this morning. How are mornings looking for people now? I'm so confused. I don't know if people are back at work. Are people still at home? People in the garden? I've seen a lot of people in the garden. Didn't realise that many people had a garden. Good morning, 3000 Bass crew. How are we doing this morning? I hope you're well this morning, my friends. Enjoying the show. Smooth, soulful vibes. It's going to be a good one. Got a couple more news bits to get into. I absolutely love this tune as well. Micro Boy and Yemi Bola Tiwa. Out now on Slime Recordings. They just get it right every time, don't they? That's a man like Andy. But this sort of soulful UKG for me is just really, really hitting home at the minute. I think there's some amazing stuff being created. And to be honest, it's just sick to see. More than anything else, I'm just loving the fact that UKG is back. UKG is power right now, and it's been a very enjoyable thing to watch, both from a musical perspective and from a journalistic perspective, because I'm always writing about stuff that I enjoy, which is great. Like I think UKG, this resurgence that it's currently going through, has made a huge difference in regards to how the UK music scene is being seen worldwide, because everyone's trying to get on this UKG wave now. Like we're talking the Night Bass crew, all of that lot are trying to get on it. We're seeing garage pop up around Europe as well, and I think it's sick because I feel garage was never a genre that caught on outside of the UK. Dubstep did, grime obviously did, drill obviously did worldwide, but garage was always very kind of apart from like Todd Edwards and a couple of other people, it always felt very kind of UK central, and now we're seeing it really start to pick up around the world, which I'm absolutely loving. I'd say realistically, garage is probably the strongest UK musical genre ever, like genre created purely in the UK. I'd say it's probably garage. Realistically, seeing as everything that's spawned off it, I'd say it's garage. But yeah, I mean it's awesome to see. To be honest with you, and more power to the garage crew putting these things forward. Out to my locked in crew, of course. Please do put the chat. Please do share the stream out there if you are enjoying. Hit like as well. I can see how many of you are locked in. So if all of you press that like button this second, makes a huge difference to the reach of the video, and more people are likely to see it. So go on, do us a favor, hit that like button, and yeah, then that'll make my morning. It'll make my morning if you could do that for me. Cristiano Ronaldo becomes football's first billionaire. Very interesting stuff indeed. Cristiano Ronaldo has become football's first billionaire. The Portuguese star joins golfer Tiger Woods and boxer boxing's Floyd Mayweather, as the only men in sport to bring home billions. I love the fact it's boxing's Floyd Mayweather. Like, do you ever say football's Cristiano Ronaldo? You don't, do you? You'd say like either Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo. You wouldn't ever say football's. You don't say like, here's music's Kanye West. I've always found that term quite amusing. I don't know why, but I always have done. Ronaldo took home $85 million in earnings in 2019, which put him second on the Forbes highest paid athletes list after Roger Federer. Ronaldo has earned over $500 million in football wages during his time playing for Manchester United and Real Madrid, so there we go. The star is also estimated to be worth $1 million per Instagram post. Can you imagine? 1 million per Instagram post. That's Ronaldo's one of the most followed people in the world, as far as I'm aware. Well, you'd assume so. But yeah, the star is estimated to earn 1 million per Instagram post. Can you imagine making $1 million per Instagram post? That's an absolute madness. I guarantee the hashtags are weird as well. I guarantee it's not like SEO friendly. I'm just willing to bet a lot of money. And there's us lot literally trying to get the wording on the post completely perfect so it sits right and is and reaches as many people as possible. And I reckon Ronaldo will probably just post up saying, "Hi, yeah, I'm having a good time. Here are my kids, and yeah, hope everyone's okay." And that'll get billions of views. It's madness. But yeah, thanks to contracts and endorsement deals with Nike and his own brand CR7, Ronaldo has made big bank over the past few years, and it's set to continue well into the future by the looks of things. Third on the list, on last year's list, is Lionel Messi, who is expected to reach the billion mark next year. So there we go. Interesting stuff, and probably not the most unbelievable news of all time that Ronaldo and Messi are now two of the highest paid sports people in the world, which is I'm surprised this wasn't news earlier, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'd say out of the two, Ronaldo is definitely more one for kind of branding. Obviously, he's done a lot more transfers, so obviously he's had his cut of those over the years. As well as that, he's obviously been somewhat of a fashion figure as well. He's obviously been involved with a lot of that. He's CR7, you know, he's a brand in himself. Messi's a brand, but not to the same level that Ronaldo's a brand, I feel. We're not even talking football here. We're literally just talking stats more than anything else. But yeah, interesting stuff. And I'm a big Ronaldo fan. I like Ronaldo as for what he does in football and off the pitch. He does a lot of charitable work alongside it. So it's sick to see that he is now a billionaire. There we go. Good stuff. Right then, friends, we're going to jump into another banger before we get onto the phone with man like Orbs, who's our first guest this morning. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. We're going to be talking music industry. We're going to be talking his roots into being a music industry figurehead. You know, he's involved in a lot of different things, obviously writing for MIXMAG and working at different record labels over the years. It's been sick to see his growth more than anything else. So we are going to be looking into all of those different things that he's involved in. I'm looking forward to it a lot. But yeah, as I said before, if you're locked in, please do let us know where you're listening in from. Don't be shy in the chat. Come on, let's have a bit of conversation this morning. I'm going to coax it out of you eventually. But yeah, I'd be very keen to hear where you're all listening in from, just so I don't have to look at my analytics after the show and see where we're gathering support from on this show. I don't know. I'm very new to this whole YouTube lark. Like, I don't really understand the analytics side of things. I'm just here streaming and having a conversation with you all in the morning. It's a good way to be, though. I do like the fact that we can just sit on this show and have a very enjoyable conversation. You know, talk about different things, talk about football, talk about what else do we talk? Music, I suppose. We'll talk about music from time to time, don't we? But yeah, let's get into this one next then. We're going to get to this one coming from Lucent, his 132 edit of Hive Mungo by Joy Orbison. Absolute classic, and for me, this is how you rework a classic into something special. So yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky in the Cave. Oh, yes.
Yo, this is Ellie Sabine Singh, and you're listening to Breakfast with KXVU.
Proper skippy one, this one. Sounds Lucent. About to get Orbs on the phone. So yeah.
Yo, this is Skepsis and you're listening to KXVU and Breakfast.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cam TV. Stay locked.
Right then, my friends, we are live on Cam TV. This one coming from Lucent, his 132 edit of Joy Orbison's Hive Mungo, an absolute classic, and in my opinion, a perfect way to remix a certified UK dance music classic. That one, and we are on the phone now with our first guest this morning. Man like Orbs joins us. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, mate. How are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. You know, I think this is definitely an interview that's been bubbling away for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Yeah. It's been years coming.
I mean, kind of thinking back to it, the first time I met you was at the Arch in Brighton. I can't remember what the night was, but it was pretty much a one-off night, and it was one of those.
I'm pretty sure that was Goof and Brucey, right? With it was Goof's UK tour, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that might be. I think you're right. Yeah,
I was there with Takey and Hot Goods. And I ran into you and Josh.
Yeah.
I met Josh Gunston the night before at another show. Yeah, dude, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, man, it's been a hot minute, and I remember it being very much one of those sort of backstage, almost like backstage meetings in the little bit around the side. You know the bit that every venue has, the completely unfurnished backstage bit that people seem to congregate in, because every venue has one.
I'm surprised that none of us got ill, because the amount of mold that's in that sweaty, tiny back corner was ridiculous. It was like an old train station, brick wall with like mold, and 20 to 30 man just squeezed in there.
Oh, bro. I think you know what it is. I think after a while you just gain a level of immunity to it. I think.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I don't know any music people that have caught COVID or anything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we must have some form of immunity.
I think there must be. I think just for spending all that time in sort of sweaty, small, unfurnished rooms, probably huffing lead at the same time as huffing like brick dust at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just super immune systems. But there we go. Out to everyone locked in this morning. Man like Orbs does join us on the line. We're going to be doing, as always, a bit of a linear kind of approach to this one, kind of looking through your sort of history, your roots, and what you're up to now. Because obviously, you're someone who is involved in like a lot of different areas of music.
Yeah, I've never. I think through the years of me doing this, I've never wanted to just focus on one thing. I like to keep things interesting, and maybe to a detriment, the term like people say like a jack of all trades. Just because I like to focus on the creative side of things and the business side of things, and then visual side of things regarding to music as well. So it's just sort of keeping it fresh, really.
Definitely, man. I think as well with yourself, obviously, because you are involved in so many different areas. It's a theory that I have. I like having this idea that at some point, people within sort of UK-based music in general will have to run into you.
I would like to think so. There's been a few times at gigs where there'll be someone who we've probably spoken to briefly over the years, and we've run into each other on a like a green room, and it'll be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm Cam." And they'll be like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" Luckily, it's been like that a few times.
Yeah, I mean that sounds very familiar.
You know the one.
Very much so, man. I think as well. It's the interesting thing about this is I want to kind of go back to the start for yourself. Like when you first sort of got involved in. Well, before that, actually, let's go back a little bit further. What was the thing that made you want to get involved in music in general? Like, was it the business side or was it music?
I've known I've wanted to work in music since I was like 7.
Oh, wow.
Like
so we're talking long term here.
Yeah. Like the goalposts have always changed. Like I started learning guitar when I was 7, and I was like, I want to be a session guitarist. I want to work in studios and be a session guitarist. And then that inevitably wasn't happening. And I was like, I want to be in a band. And so, you mess around at small local gigs, and that fizzled out. And then I was like, I want to be a DJ. And so, yeah, and then it'd be a case of I'd start making my like tracks in college and started DJing in college. And like, I think my first, like I snuck into a club when I was just turned 16, and that was the first time I ever played in a club.
Good man, that's what I like to hear. I got into a habit on my shows of always being like, oh well, there's ways of getting in. I could just find a way to get into the clubs. I will openly promote if you are DJing getting into clubs before the age of 18.
Well, that's the thing is when it came to these shows, it was the fact that I was the opening DJ, so I would be there before the security. So yeah. There you go. That's how you get in.
Perfect. Like probably the best way of doing it. I definitely remember a few times when I was younger that whole thing of literally getting there before security being like I think like I remember hiding in toilets. I remember like literally. Yeah. I think there was one time I literally hid underneath the stage until the rave started when I got snuck in. I remember that one. That was
Christ.
But there we go. That's a story for another day. Tales with Cub from back in the day.
I'm gonna want to hear that.
I need a podcast. But anyway, let's crack on. So yeah, obviously you started wanting to work in the music industry from such a young age. Like, at what point did that sort of Because I mean, were you producing first, or like more getting involved in music business first? Like, which was the one that kind of was your introduction?
I'd say it was definitely into the production. I think most people, especially people I've met who work on the business side of the music industry, have had some history of where they started making music, whether that's in bands or singer-songwriters or producers or DJs. People who work in business have obviously had a core love for music. So that's sort of where it comes. Yeah, and that's the same with me. Is I started, playing instruments, and then went into producing and then produce a load of rubbish for many years.
They're the best years, though. They're the years where you don't care. I love those years.
Well, they're the most creative ones. Yeah. You can hear back and you be like, oh, I could see what I was doing there.
Yeah.
It sounds rubbish, but I mean, it could work.
I've definitely had the thing with times like that where you look back and go, actually, these are quite good. I'm not bad at these. I've done it where I've looked back like,
I know.
like you look back like 3 or 4 years ago even, because obviously a lot changes in 3 to 4 years of production. But you look back and go, actually, the mix down on that's quite good. Like I don't remember it being that good.
Yeah, it can be surprising. It catches you off guard.
Definitely, man. I mean, then obviously you've kind of moved forward then into getting involved with different labels, having music kind of released and stuff like that. What was the first label you put music out with?
It was actually Punks was the first label I released on, and that was just for a remix of Tame. This was back in 2015.
Wow.
And so I spent about 3 years with the Punks team working on the business end.
Okay, wow.
And so I think back then it was a case of I was just interning at the label. It was in very early days, and I was asked to do a remix for this project, and I was really happy with it. And it was a really good package we put out with like Mike Kiss and Barely Were On and Bunny and Jay Robinson.
Yeah, of course.
And it was just a really good remix pack. And then it was just it was that was my first.
So when you got taken, when you kind of ended up working with Punks, then was it kind of, did you approach them about getting involved in the more business side, or did they approach you?
Well, so it's purely good. It was just purely coincidence because the label manager there is a friend of mine, Ollie G. He's we met each other a year before I started working there, and it's because me and him were both getting a lift to NAS Festival.
I think so. Just to nab it quickly, I think at some point with this, I'm going to have to ask what the weirdest place you've met a contact is, because I'm already sensing there's going to be a few ones. But anyway, carry on.
Damn, I should have prepared this. I need to think. But basically, yeah. So we I was like 16 at the time. And this guy who I went to college with, who was a bit older, he literally on the day was like, hey, someone's dropped out of a set at NAS. Do you want to come up with us and play at NAS? And I was like, yeah, okay. And so I shared a car ride with this guy who invited me, and Ollie ended up being in the car as well. And so we spent the 4-hour drive up from Cornwall to Shepton Mallet. And had a good time. And me and Ollie ended up playing this back-to-back at the VIP room. And it was the year Cypress Hill was playing.
Oh, wow.
I remember they came into the VIP just as I was playing the Cause and Effect, Insane in the Membrane.
Yeah. And the timing on that, though.
Yeah, no, seriously. And there was it was a really cool set. There was people, they were just moshing to other tunes, not to the Cause and Effect in it. But yeah, I remember them walking in whilst playing that, and I was just like, what is this? But basically, a year later, I didn't really talk to Ollie that often for that past year, but he just literally posted a status on Facebook saying, because this was when Punks was growing really well.
Yeah, of course.
And he just said, I'm really, I'm looking to take on some extra hands at the label. Would anyone be interested before I put it out more publicly for like a internship application? And I just sent him a message. I was actually going through a really dark time then, and so I just sent him a message saying I'd be interested, and like within 5 minutes he was like, I have to wait 24 hours, don't tell anyone, but you're gonna do this role. So I started as an intern, and then sort of progressed over the couple years into a higher management role and sort of part of the core team.
There we go. That's sick. I mean, that's sick to see. Like, would you say that period there is where you kind of learnt the most sort of label, like as in working with labels?
Oh, definitely. It's incredibly insightful with every job that I've had to sort of see how business can be run and managed. And so that was my first sort of real taste of, a professional role. Definitely. Because everything that had been done previously was like putting on gigs and sort of doing it with
the more sort of homespun sort of approach to things.
Yeah, the more sort of personal business kind of.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we're going to jump into the first tune of today next. I think realistically, we're probably going to get two tunes in for this interview because I've got loads to pick your brains about on the second half, and I'm enjoying this conversation quite heavily. So we're going to get into this tune, and I tell you what, I saw the phrase "unreleased" on the file you sent over, so I thought, you know what, this is definitely one we're going to play. So this one is your remix of Ava Max's "Sweet But Psycho." Talk to me about this one.
Oh, so I mean, this has been just, I thought I'd send this to you just as a little treat.
Yeah, thank you.
Because this has been on my hard drive for like a year and a half. It was originally supposed to come out on the remix package for her release of that single. But that single, this was before she became Ava Max, and I remember an A&R at Warner sent me an email saying, "Oh, hey, would you like to remix this new track for this new artist we're working on?" And I listened to it, and this was about 7-8 months before it actually released, and so I did the remix of it, and it was what this one was. And then that tune ended up blowing up,
like proper blowing up.
Yeah, God, it was #1 for so long in the UK, and it blew up, and then they ended up reorganizing the remix package, and they had like Morgan Page and these like crazy bigger producers.
Oh, that's a shame though. But you can still say it's an official Warner remix that you got asked to do.
Oh, it is. It's just unreleased.
Yeah, there we go. So there we go. We're playing major exclusives on the show now. That's where we're at with this fabulous start to the day. We're going to get to this one now. Then Orbs is on the line, and then we're going to get back. We're going to talk a bit more about kind of where you're at now. Obviously, working with MIXMAG as well. That whole process, and we're going to talk a little bit more about really. We're going to talk about some correlations as well, which I'm very looking forward to. So don't go anywhere, guys. If it's your first time locking in, please do hit like on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel as well. We're trying to hit 400 subs by the end of the week. That means we need 4 a day, so you could be one of those 4. Go on, do us a favor. Lovely vibes on this one from Orbs. This one, here's a remix of Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. We're going to get back into a conversation in just a second. Out to the locked in crew this morning. It's Brekky In The Cave. Lovely stuff. That one coming from Ava Max, track entitled Sweet But Psycho. That one is the official unreleased Orbs remix. How does it kind of feel to know that you've got that in the locker as well?
It was a great feeling. That was like my first major label hit up.
Awesome.
Essentially, it was a cold call email. It wasn't so it was great. It was great to have it. It was a great experience and sort of quite insightful to sort of how majors manage their remixes.
Awesome, man. I mean, let's quickly get this story from you then, because I know you've been thinking about it over the course of the break. Let's get into this because I'm really keen to hear it. Just because I know you're someone who is around a lot. You end up at a lot of venues, a lot of different clubs around the UK. I want to find out the weirdest place you have made a music industry contact.
Oh.
I'm loving the sound of being stumped is what I live for on this show.
Yeah, but the thing it's we're definitely not past a watershed here, mate.
You know what? I was going to say this as well. The beautiful thing about this channel still being young and new is that I'm not going to get demonetized because I'm not monetized yet. I don't really have to worry about realistically losing subs because I haven't got that many subs to begin with. Although you are all very precious to me, subs. I've got to say, you are all very precious to me. But I'm very keen to hear.
I would. Yeah, no, I'm going to tell this story. Okay, fine. I know because
glass smashes all over the place.
This is going to be a sensible one. It was the first time I ever met Martin Horger.
Okay.
So I was playing. We were all doing a show in Bristol for Halloween. It was at the Old Crown Courts, the big Halloween show they do. And I'd spoken to Martin for, it was about probably a year and a half, and so we had kind of. We never had a face-to-face, but we had spoken to one another and, how this kind of business rolls. And I was in the middle of playing my set, and I saw Martin come in with a few other people. And it was the first time meeting him, and I went in to give him a hug, just to say, hey, man, it's great to see you. And he decided to squeeze my ass and pinch my nipples. And that was the first time I met my favourite German.
There we go. That's an interesting way to meet someone for the first time, I've got to say.
That's somewhat of a sensible idea that I can say on
radio. I mean, that's the thing. If that's the sensible, I'd love to hear what the unsensible ones are. But we won't go too far.
We'll talk about it off there.
Yeah, there we go. I'm always keen to learn these stories. One interesting thing I'll say about radio as well is I found this with a lot of people. No one is more talkative than when they are in a live studio environment and the mics are turned off. That's when people are at their most talkative. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is it's off record. So it's, when you're on air, it's kind of doubting what you're saying because you're worried that you may say something.
Yeah,
unless you're Kanye's or whatever. But
just don't give up.
But us lot were kind of trying to be sensible.
Yeah.
So when it's off record, no holds barred.
There we go. So let's talk about MIXMAG then. How long have you been on the writing team for MIXMAG?
It's actually just coming up to 2 years now.
Nice.
It was unfortunately. Back in March, it got suspended until August due to current situations.
Yeah, of course.
So we haven't been doing it for a couple months. But yeah, I mean, I joined their editorial staff. What was it, July 2018? So it's just coming up to 2 years.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, how do you find it when it's all running like normally? Do you still enjoy it? The process of putting the reviews together?
Yeah, well, definitely. It's kind of. I think we've spoken about this before, and I've said to other people, it's good to be able to have a platform that you can push talented individuals that you believe in, and just good music.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, it's just pushing good music. and giving it a platform.
Definitely.
So yeah, I definitely enjoy that.
I mean, like, what would you say? Like, do you find your inbox a little bit full when it comes? Because when people find out that you're obviously writing for MIXMAG, do you find out people going, "Oh yeah, do you fancy reviewing this release?" Like, do you find that happens a lot more?
Yeah, the thing is, most of them are fine. Like, people cold call promos that are personal. Most of them are fine because I tend to have come across their path before and like seen their name around.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it's normally quite polite. There's a lot of bad promos. You know, the entire mail out's unpersonalized but in general, I'd say my inbox at the minute is very full. Because the promos have been building up.
I mean, it's for being someone in your position. Then, like, would you say you still have to stay like moderately on top of what's happening in the UK, like in regards to the scene in general, or do you find you can pretty much just rely on the promos you're being sent?
I'd say both. It's definitely having to sort of stay on top of it on your own merit as such, because you know if you're just relying on promos, I mean, you've got as much information as everyone else does. So where's that sort of leading edge? You know, when writing about any new release or a popping, emerging style or scene. I mean, you know it full well. I mean, you see it with yourself, sort of having, you know, your finger on the pulse of the sort of grime and underground bass music.
Definitely.
Like it's just like the same for both of us. You know, you need to stay on top of it outside of what's in your inbox.
Definitely, and I think almost your inbox can become a little bit echo chambery to an extent.
Yeah, kinda, and I think, you know, a lot of us know that the majority of the promos aren't suited for you.
Yeah.
They're just very generalized, like the amount of, you know, house tunes.
Yeah, I was going to ask this because this is definitely something I can relate to. What's the weirdest thing you've been sent for MIXMAG that is completely off topic?
Well, like, so if someone like send me a promo who clearly doesn't know what it's. Oh God, I've had indie bands pitched to me.
This is what I was going to ask for. Have you been hit by that indie band thread?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like acoustic electronic artists which would be sick to write about, but these are like full emerging indie bands who have just been sent like the base PR and, you know, just the basic press release, and it's just changed. It's just a copy and paste email where it's just changed to "Hi Cam," and you know, so it's like "Hi, insert name here. We love what you're doing at insert publication." So indie bands.
Indie bands are definitely the weird one. And I think that's actually a surprisingly common thing for. I don't know why they always pop up in bass music. I've never seen it in grime, but as soon as you label yourself as a bass imprint, indie bands they comes a running, and I don't know why it is. We've nearly run out of time. This has absolutely flown by this morning. Obviously we're going to finish up here saying obviously you're working now. You're working at a major now.
Yep. So I've got working with Universal at the minute,
which is sick to see.
Over there.
It's amazing to see, man. Obviously, seeing that progression. Like, obviously, we can't go into too much details about what you're doing there and like your roles within it, because it's all quite locked in. But I just wanted to see, ask if you're enjoying the process of working there. To be honest with you,
I love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's one of those things that, you know, now whilst being able to work with them, it's, you know, it's full-time music. Yeah,
that's an amazing thing, man. And I think realistically, that's what that's what every musician wants, isn't it? To be full-time in music, for the most part. And obviously, you having that more sort of business end to what you do in the business and enjoying the business end as well, it must be quite a gratifying position to be in.
Oh, very. I mean, I'm primarily focusing on, at least for the foreseeable future, more business ventures within music, and being able to do it full-time is, you know, there's years of work that's built up to it.
Definitely.
So it's really rewarding, mate. I love it.
Awesome, man. Well, that's good to hear. We're gonna finish up there. I tell you what, it's been really good. We definitely need to do another one of these because I'm sure there's so many different stories and stuff we can dive into.
We definitely do.
And we'll have a little bit of an extended catch up next time we get you on as well. We'll try and do a little bit of a longer interview because this one has literally flown by. I can't believe how quickly this one's gone.
I know. Half an hour has gone in like 5 minutes.
In a second. Well, you know what? It means we're both having fun, so that's a good thing. We're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up with this one. It's your remix of Overtime by Tame featuring Filani. Talk to me about this tune.
Oh, so this was back in the early days of me working with punks, and I was doing the artwork for this release. So I was doing a lot of the album art for punks at the time, and I was doing this, and I was working with Stevie and Tame, and going over, what do you think of this? What do you think of this idea? And he just, and I was talking to him because I'd only put out like a free download and like bare any tunes, and he goes, "Hey, would you like to try and have a remix? Here are the stems." And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to." And so I tried it, and then kind of pushed it on the back end to say, "Hey, we also have this for the pack." And yeah, it made the pack, and it was received really well.
Awesome.
I really liked it as well.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. What is the best social media tag for people to get you on before we finish up?
So every tag of mine is at It's Orbs.
There we go. Good stuff, dude. We'll speak soon, and we'll catch up.
Thanks for having me, man. Have a good one.
Right then, my friends, we are back on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky in the Cave. Massive shouts out to Orbs for passing through for the last half an hour. We've definitely got to do a more extended sit-down conversation with him. But we're moving into our second guest of the day. Really looking forward to getting into this conversation. ZEE joins us on the line. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been, as I was saying, I've been looking forward to this one. We've had it locked in for a few weeks now, and there's obviously a lot of stuff for us to talk about. There's a lot of stuff to discuss, like how are you finding things in general at the moment?
It's weird, isn't it? Like, yeah. I'm finding like now I'm starting to catch a bit of a rhythm. The first like month was weird because you just didn't know what was going on, but I feel like now I've kind of gotten into the flow of just being at home.
Definitely, man. Like, I think there's a couple of things I'm seeing popping up now where more than anything else, I think people have kind of got used to the idea that they don't have to get up and out of the house to go to work. So we're seeing a lot of people, especially more sort of creatives and sort of freelance people, kind of come up with new ventures and like new platforms. I mean, No Signal's a good example of this. Like, there's loads of these platforms that have sprung up. Like, have you found yourself doing anything like significantly different?
So I've been quite lucky because I've had quite a lot of guest mixes that I've done throughout lockdown, which has helped keep me very sane. So I've just recording in my room, really.
Awesome. Mixing
in my room. It's been it's kind of nice, but I do miss the stage.
Definitely, man. I think there's definitely something there's definitely something unreplaceable. Irreplaceable? Is it unreplaceable? I don't know the word. Irreplaceable about those more sort of live environments, and even being live on set with MCs and stuff like that. That's a difficult experience to replicate. Like, I mean, obviously you have been very busy with guest mixes. We did see you jump onto One Extra very recently.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun. You did it as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got a bit of a confession to make. When I saw that you were doing one, I kind of went, I've never even thought of applying to do one of those. So it's actually, when I saw your one on there, that's what made me go, I'm going to email in. So thank you.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, don't say thank you. You deserve to
but I wouldn't have seen it. So well done for going out there and like how did that sort of thing come together?
So Snoochie tweeted, literally right at the start of lockdown, just asking people for guest mixes, and I just sent her one, and then I got an email like 3 or 4 weeks later. It was really exciting. I didn't think that they'd even listen.
Yeah.
To be honest. So
was it the email that kind of went, your mix is going to be played in 3 hours? Was it one of those ones where it drops like with it?
Yeah, so they messaged me and they said that I had a week to send them a mix, and then they gave me all of the brief about what I can play, what I can't play, how long it needs to be, and everything. And I got really panicky. So I spent a couple of days trying to get it right because I wanted to do a really good job with it.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking. Get the email, I was like, oh, that's wicked. And then I was like, oh, no, wait.
Now I've got to actually do the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick to see, though. And as well, I mean, with yourself, let's kind of go back to the beginning sort of bits here. What I'm assuming you started off DJing first.
Yeah. I've always DJ'd. But it's only been, I think, the first time I played out was March last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've always been around DJs and producers and stuff, just from the friends that I have and things like that.
Okay.
But then I thought, I wanted to do it too.
Yeah, definitely, man. Going back to the beginning then with that sort of DJing thing. What was the sort of first experience of DJing you had? What was the scenario?
My first experience of DJing. So my friends, I've got. Do you know who Mula is, the producer?
I know the name, definitely. I've seen the name floating around the timelines.
Yeah, so they used to do this thing every Monday called Mix Mondays, and we'd all go over and just mix on this little Pioneer controller and just get used to it. And I'd never done it before. I'd obviously been to sets and stuff, and I'd always been around DJs, but I never actually mixed myself. Okay. And I did it the first time, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool.
Nice. Did you immediately catch a buzz for it?
Yeah. It's so satisfying, when you get that blend perfect. It's just
there's this feeling of when you're playing two tunes in time, you are literally just going, this happening right now. It isn't happening anywhere else. These two tunes being played are playing right now here. It is a real buzz, and it's something I think that no DJ ever really loses, that idea of getting two things sounding good, loud next to each other.
Yeah, I know. It's the little things.
Definitely, man. I mean, so you're obviously when you're starting out, then you're obviously in and around sort of music people. people. Would you say that was quite like an essential thing in your kind of early growth?
I think, yeah, because it helped me to like learn from others. Like I feel with me, I'm quite a practical learner. So it's good to be around people that were interested in the same thing that I was, because it meant that I could like pick up tips from them and, you know, like see how they do things and like work from that and try and build up my own like skill set. So yeah, I think it's quite important.
Definitely, man. I've always been a very firm believer in if you can have like a team around you, not necessarily a team, but like a group of like-minded people around you. As a group, you're all likely to go a lot further.
Yeah, it really does help. Just being in the same mindset as everyone. Definitely.
Like, so kind of then, obviously you said you've only been sort of playing out live for since, you said March last year, I believe?
Yeah.
Like, how was the first show? Talk to me about the feelings.
Oh my gosh, the CDJ broke.
No way.
So nervous. I know. I did this like course that's run by Saffron Records called Mix Nights, and it's like you get like 6 weeks where they just let you go into a booth and just practice and like learn everything, and they talk you through like different techniques, and then at the end they have a night at a club in Bristol, and then so I went on, and after like 2 tunes the CDJ broke. And I was just, it was a lot. It was
that sounds like the worst. This is like possible scenario for a first show. Like, my word, I can relate because exactly the same thing happened at my first show. Like,
I feel like CDJs just broke a lot.
Yeah. It's bizarre how much considering they're pieces of equipment that are literally designed to be used for what they're used for. They don't seem to last very long.
They really don't, and I feel like I think that's one thing that no one ever prepares you for, is the fact that you are pretty much going to be playing on broken equipment most of the time.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Like when you go to like, I don't know, if you go to like a music college, or you go and do courses on this pristine looking equipment, and you're like, I get to use all this, and then you end up going to the first couple of shows, and you're in, I don't know, in a room 2 where you've got like 2 mismatched CDJs, the link doesn't work. There's the mix has only got 2 channels that work, and one of those hasn't got a fader like button on it. Nothing prepares you for that.
Nothing. It's absolute anxiety. Thinking about it now is getting me a bit sweaty.
I do apologise. It was one I had to. I've never actually told this story on the channel, so I'm going to tell it very quickly. The first time I ever played a show, I was 15. And I played in room 2 at Volks, which is quite like an established sort of Brighton venue. It's pretty well known for sort of reggae and dub and that whole, and D&B and those more sort of sub bass heavy genres. So the first time I go and play there, I bring my own CDJs, because I go. Right, I don't have that much vinyl at the time, and at the time down there it was literally just vinyl decks. So I went down there with like 28 vinyl in my bag. I set my CDJs up. I make the critical error of putting them into the phono rather than the line, so they start playing, and all I hear is like to start off. And then then we get it fixed very, very quickly, and then within 2 minutes I realise there's no way on earth these are going to work, because the sub is so heavy down there. The CDJs are physically bouncing whenever there's a kick drum, so it's skipping the CDs.
Oh no!
So yeah, that was my first experience of a show ever. So I can 100% relate with you in that feeling. It's almost horrible to think about thinking back to it.
It's very character building.
It's very character building. I think it's quite essential to have those things in you. If you only ever play like packed out rooms on pristine equipment, you're going to struggle in a room 2.
Oh my gosh, trust me.
So, kind of looking through what we've got to go through here, then, because this show is flying by, literally. We're gonna get into one of the tracks you sent over. The first one is from Louis B. This one's Thailand. Talk to me about this tune.
Do you know what? So this is from his new project, and he dropped it on his birthday, and it's just every single song on there is wicked. Like he's just so sick. But this Thailand tune, I just love it so much. Like there's just something about it that just like, I don't know, I kind of zone out. You know those zone out tracks where you don't have to think too tough, you can just enjoy it. Yeah.
I feel with Louis B, he's definitely I want to say one of the more versatile grime producers that's currently out there.
Yeah, definitely. He's got like no two songs sound the same from him, and I really rate that, because it can be quite hard to find producers sometimes, because they do sound a bit samey.
Definitely. I think that you people almost become like too attached to the pocket that they kind of work in and go, I know how to do this, so I'm going to keep doing this. So the ability to kind of move away from that is really, really sick. Right then, we're going to get into this one now. Don't go anywhere, guys. We are live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave, and we are joined by Jazzy this morning. Right then, my friends, we're back on Cubcam TV. That one coming from not from Thailand. It sounds like it's from Thailand. Coming from Louis B, track entitled Thailand. I'm getting excited this morning. The show's running super, super smoothly. I'm enjoying the conversation. It's a good time. We're joined by Jazzy. So we were just off air there discussing sort of like disasters that could occur in these sort of live scenarios, and you did say a phrase which I've got to press you for on air. Because we've had Brecknicles on this show, but I want to hear about the term for when stuff starts going wrong in a dance. The term is...
Clangxiety.
Clangxiety! That's what I'm fully here for. That's an amazing term. Like, let's get in a glass mash. There we go. Clangxiety, you know. I've never even thought of that. Like, what, in regards to that, like, have you ever seen it happen to someone else?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I feel like every DJ has had a clangxiety moment. There's just never been a word for it.
There has never been a word for it. Like, do you know the thing I find to be worst about it as well is, I don't know if this is just me that this happens to, but when equipment breaks, I get the feeling that everyone thinks that I've broken it. Yeah.
Why is that? I don't understand why the blame just gets put on the person that's there. Like, I get offended by that. So it wasn't me.
Like, if the equipment's broken, it was broken before the club opened. Why are you looking at me as though I've broken it? Like, I've done nothing. You can see me. I'm not hitting it with a hammer. Like,
exactly. It's that. Some people do like to tap that cue button like they are hammering something.
To be fair, yeah. I've never really understood that with cue buttons. Why people do want to kind of attack it. It's very bizarre. Like, I'll press it twice and then press play. I've never understood it. Is the track working? Yes, it is. Press play. Like, that's one of those ones. So let's kind of talk about radio and stuff then, because obviously you are quite, I want to say, prominent when it comes to sort of getting involved in UK radio sets. Like, you seem to be quite active.
Yeah, I try to be. I love it. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones where if someone asks me, I'm more than likely gonna say yeah, just because I love just being involved. I love being on radio, and like, I think as well it's good because I get to listen to other people's mixes too, and I really enjoy that. Like,
okay. So would you say you're still very much like a fan as much as a DJ yourself? Yeah,
definitely. I think if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't make it part of my life because it's very stressful sometimes.
Yeah, it's a time-consuming thing as well.
It really is. But it's, for me, like, because I love it so much, I kind of forget about the stress that comes with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it is very important to love what you do.
Definitely. I think as well for yourself, as you were saying, like, during lockdown, you've been a lot more active when it comes to sort of guest mixes and stuff, because you've been able to, like, stack a few of them up and get them involved. Like, what stations have you been working with?
So I've done... I've got to think about this now. I did a mix for, Radio Cult, so I did one for them.
Of course.
I've been on Rinse, and I've done quite a few just online guest mixes as well, because they seem to be a bit more active at the moment.
Yeah, of course.
I think just because it's, especially with radio, I feel a lot of people do listen back to stuff, so I think the online platforms are getting a bit more of traffic coming through now.
Definitely, as we were saying earlier, stuff like No Signal especially right now is like the stuff that's at the top of the tree.
Oh my gosh, No Signal is great.
Yeah. Have you been enjoying the top tens?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I listened to the Pharrell and Timbaland one yesterday.
Oh, was it good? You know what, I completely missed it. How was it?
It was great. I caught the last 3 rounds, but it was fun. I think it's a really good idea what they've done. I hope they keep doing it. I hope it's not just a lockdown thing. I hope they. Yeah,
I know this will be the interesting thing moving forward as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how much these platforms and these new pop-up platforms, shall we say, how they can carry on into a world where people are still back going outside. Because obviously there's a necessity for people to find entertainment they can join in from home. But it'll be interesting to see if that can carry on post people being locked in their houses.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if they did a live one. Oh my gosh, that would be fun.
Like in an actual proper venue.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be really, really cool to see. Kind of like moving forward then, what do you have a standout radio memory? One like there being one that you kind of think, oh, that was the one.
Standout radio, wow. So we did one in Bristol on 1020. I think it was in January. Oh no, it was December. There was 20 of us in this one little radio room. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. But everyone was you you have to shuffle past each other. We had 8 people doing a back-to-back. And it was just shuffling past, trying to get your USB in time and stuff. And kept losing count of how many people had gone and who was next. And yeah, it was really fun.
Awesome,
and
man.
Who was there with us? It was Tints, K9, and SBK.
Wicked, man. I mean, that's a good lineup of MCs as well.
Yeah, that was sick. It was really fun getting them down to Bristol as well.
Very prominent. Okay, cool. So we're going to jump into a track next. This one is one of the ones you selected to run on the show this morning. So this one goes by the name of, if I'm not mistaken, it goes by the name of the Anyway Rhythm Freestyle from JoJo So Sick. Talk to me about this tune. Why is this one in today's selection?
Do you know what? I love this song because it's skippy. I love skippy tracks, and I feel like this one it's just a nice track to have. And the beat, it's produced by Jams. Okay. And it's just, I think it came out on his project a couple months back. And then when Joe did the freestyle, I just thought, this is the one. This is
the cup of tea. Right, cool.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Cool. Right, we're going to get into this one now. Then don't go anywhere, guys. We are live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave. This has been a really enjoyable one so far. So yeah, keep it locked.
Stepping in the booth, got bars that I might throw out. Take my hat off, let my throw out. Big grizzly, I let the beard grow out. If it ain't about music, I won't go out. If it don't play no part of the plan, if it ain't about my family or gang, then I'm at home paying bread for the world. In my true neck, no, you ain't testing my style right now. Man, I just tested the style easy. I got a few left in the party beats, like I ain't had sex in a while. What? That's wow. If I'm up, I know she's down. Trying to shoot like hold down circle, but it's not FIFA when she's round. Right now, man just trying to make movements, improvement and keeping it moving. Them boy there, just watch how I do this. Chatting off, but it's all useless. Obstruction, yeah man, I get through this. Concoction, yeah man, I just juicing. Think it's stuck, then I think you're stupid. Yeah man, I'm unlawful. Them man chat bad, but it's all awful. I got powers like next dimensions, but it's I bring heat like Heathrow, cause that act don't fly with me, bro. Man got gassed over one reload, like everyone here ain't got cheat codes. Try get rid of man, but they couldn't. Red card if you try tell me back bookings. Judge me, but you still can't get a footing. It's tea, like blood. Whose leg are you pulling? Don't think you can try take me for chicken. I'll get my slice the proofs in the pudding. Real soon. Yeah, I flex with bars, but you don't know nothing about that. So who are you telling? These little coupons can't tell me about shillings. No way. Come true like Bowser. So just watch as I'm about to rip this up like voucher, and you'll soon see what all I'm out to. Lil Fro, never got funk like Kill Scott Heron. Beat it up on this like I'm John Lennon. Bars and flow, just know that you're getting. Never been someone like Lemon, but I'm the one that sweet ones when I get on. Call it free, some of labor, little paper, peaches and melons. Bearing titles on round here. Bear man track, but none of it's clear. Me, I want that money in the bank. That Jazzy sat like man's gone clear. Them man are just weird. Them man sound bitter. One of them pick me dudes on Twitter. Now you can't roll with a snake, they sliver.
Right then, we're back inside the building. That one coming from Jojo So Sick, track entitled The Anyway Rhythm Freestyle. Very, very lively. Instrumental-wise as well. This is something I always like asking DJs. Like, what is it you look for in an instrumental more than anything else?
Ooh, I love like melodic keys and like little synths and things like that. I love all the like eerie like sounding music. So
to an extent, almost like the sort of classic R&G sort of sound.
Yes, I do like R&G, but I'm a bit like I'm more to the. I like aggressive sounding songs, but I like them to be kind of. I don't know, it's like an awkward. I always just say I'm like a 140 DJ. Yeah. Because I kind of like the blend between like dubsteppy, like melodic tracks with the bass and that aggression that comes from grime. Yeah. So 140 is like what I like to say, because then I could kind of go. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's something that's being very. I mean, if you look into a lot of the sort of online discussion in regards to sort of 140 in general, it does seem to be it's more moving towards being a sort of hybrid genre when it comes to like sound. Anyway, it's looking like sort of grime and dubstep will eventually just completely merge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. I don't mind that happening, to be honest. Yeah. I think, like, there should still be, like, a difference between the two, but, like, if it's together, then even if it's just sort of under the title of under like a parent genre title of 140, I think something like that would be a cool way of doing it. Cool. Well, we've nearly run out of time. We've got about 5 minutes left, and I want to squeeze in one more banger before the end of the show. So let's finish off. Let's look to the future. Let's look to post lockdown when people are allowed to go outside again. What's in the works for yourself? What are the plans? Oh, I've got a couple of new radio residencies that I'm waiting to announce, which I'm excited about. Mm-hmm. But I'm not allowed to say anything. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Will we be when we see it? Will we be excited? Oh yeah, hopefully. I hope so. There we go. I will be anyway. But a couple of radio shows, and then I just want to get back into the raves. I'm just waiting for my first booking after lockdown. There we go. I mean, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Like looking at the kind of it's going to be a bit of a slow kind of wave, and then suddenly I think it will just go bang, and then literally Clubland will be hit like in an absolute madness. It'll be a bit tentative for the first few weeks, and then just suddenly, woof, 1 week it'll just go mad. I think. That's what's going to happen. Okay, cool. What are you up to for the rest of the day then? I am just chilling today. Really, I'm not really got too much to do. I'm moving house in a couple of weeks. I need to actually start packing because I haven't done anything. Yeah, that's going to be a madness as well. Now, the thing is, I can imagine it being the most stressful thing in this scenario as well. I know. I just don't know how it's going to work. There we go. Well, I'm gonna leave you to ponder that one because I can't really offer any advice. So there we go. We're gonna finish up with this one from Footsie. This one goes by the name of Easy For You. It features Jay. I think it's Jay Appiah. It's pronounced, or is it Jay Appiah? One of the two. Talk to me about this tune. Why is this one in today's selections? I think so. With this album, No Favours, that Footsie dropped. For me, Fitzy is like top 10 producer for me. Like, he's just, what he does is amazing. And I feel like with this song, it's the very last song on the project. And it's just, it's a bit different from the rest of the tracks, because it's more of like a sweet boy rhythm. Yeah. And I really like how he just switches it up at the end, and it's like a nice way to close off the project, I feel.
Wicked, man. Well, it's been really good to talk. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I hope we haven't taken too much time out of the pre-record schedule.
No, but it's all right.
There we go. Good stuff. Right, we're going to finish up with this one then. Out to everyone who's been locked in this morning, this is where we are going to close the show out. Remember, you can listen back via the podcast over on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Music as well. Literally just type Breakfast with KXVU, the interviews. It pops up straight away. All of the interviews we do are on there as well. And of course, if you are listening back on YouTube, please do hit like and please do hit the subscribe button as well. Don't go anywhere, guys, and we will see you soon. Don't forget, there's a new Drill Around the World video dropping later on today as well. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Bliss.
To make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. Tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. Tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. Tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. You weren't here when I needed. You disappeared when I needed. You said you'd come back, you never came back. Oh no, no. Tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. I tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. I tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here. Tried to make it easy for you, but you don't care, you ain't here.
I made it easy, you still went missing. Showed you love, but you still kept dissing. Ain't got a rod, but I still went fishing. Look, that's one hell of a mission. Different paths, not sharing a vision. Crash test dummy, ain't nothing funny. Hold up, wait, look, here's the collision. I'm like, fuck that, I'll take the long way round. You'll end up in the lost and found. Me, I'ma keep my feet on the ground. You're mad if you think I'm waiting around with excess baggage weighing me down. I've got shows all over the world and I've got a location way out of town. Way up, so I don't wanna see your face, so I'll stay up, so ghosted. I remember the times I was there roasting with you wherever you was coasting. Now I'm having a drink toasting. Yeah, the future's bright, I'ma do me and be alright.